today about you all. I know you all think that you're the mouth of Tampa Bay. I'm going to be talking about the mouth of Tampa Bay, which is where Tampa Bay flows in and out. You know that geology artifact down there? The mouth of Tampa Bay is where I grew up. I grew up in St. Petersburg and spent a lot of time down there, and I just love that area. And the topic of my speech was supposed to be do your research, and I was going to look up and find out all the different facts about Fort DeSoto and Tampa Bay. And in the process of doing that, I found out some interesting things. Fort DeSoto was once voted the #1 beach in the entire world. Wow. It's a beautiful beach. There's all kinds of wildlife down there. When I was in college and studying zoology, I spent 3 hours a day, 2 days a week in my botany class and in my marine biology class down on Fort DeSoto just studying the flora and the fauna. There's that much stuff down there. Fascinating stuff. And it's a great way to take college classes too. There's all kinds of neat stuff going on down there. There's history. There are forts dating back to the Civil War and the Spanish-American War down there. Really cool places to explore. Tampa is a very large working port. There's all kinds of traffic, ship traffic, coming and going there. Egmont Key has got a pilot house and a lighthouse out there and a radio beacon. So whatever you're interested in, there's neat stuff down there. However, that's all facts, mere facts. And I started to do my research, and I was thinking about what I used to do down there. For example, when I graduated from high school, a couple buddies of mine and I went off Fort DeSoto. We got a keg of beer. This is back when the drinking age was 21. And we took it out to Egmont Key to go camping, spend the weekend down there. Well, we ran out of ice, and we had to make an emergency trip over to Anna Maria Island to pick up ice. And on the way, a storm blew up. Our boat lost power, and we ended up shipwrecking onto Anna Maria. And by the way, people nowadays say Anna Maria. It's actually Anna Maria. It's what the old-timers say. Well, okay. There's a lot of other things that I looked at research on and found that, well, you all know about the Skyway Bridge. It's the #2 suicide location in the world. The Blackthorn Coast Guard cutter, the worst peacetime maritime disaster in Coast Guard history. 23 sailors drowned. 3 months after that, a man by the name of John Laro was piloting a ship, and he was coming up the channel right under the Skyway, and he lost power for no reason. The ship just lost power, and it started to drift. This was a good captain. He had been under that bridge over 800 times before, and the ship started drifting. And he threw down the anchors. He knew exactly what to do. He threw down the anchors, and the ship just barely grazed the bottom of the bridge. No damage. Whew. That was a month, 1 month after the Blackthorn sank. 2 months later, same captain. This time he's piloting a different ship, the Summit Venture. He's coming up. The ship's got plenty of power. Nothing happens. All of a sudden, out of the blue, a storm, 60-knot winds blow up. He calls for the first mate on the bow. Where am I? Am I in the channel? The first mate says, yes, I see the buoy. You're in the channel. The next thing he knows, the Skyway Bridge is sitting on top of the bow of his ship. And he's looking up, and he's seeing buses and cars drive off, plummeting down 175 feet into the water. Over 20 people killed. Spooky, huh? There's been a couple of plane crashes right around the Skyway. One Air Force pilot was killed back in the 50s. He was piloting along in a jet coming into MacDill. He lost power. Crashed. Over the years, there's been more accidents and more maritime disasters, more deaths in a 4-mile stretch around the Skyway Bridge than in any other place, any other harbor in the world. New York Harbor, busy place. They don't have accidents like that. Why? So in my research, I came up a lot of fact books, and then I found a fun book, the Tampa Bay Dead Zone. This guy, and you can see it down there, claims that there was a burial mound, Indian burial mound. The Timucua Indians had a sacred burial ground on Tierra Verde, which at the time was called Cabbage Key. They bulldozed this mound. This is true. The plaque honors where the mound used to be. They bulldozed the mound. They found bones, and the developers said, shh, just cover it up. So they filled it in and created Tierra Verde. The guys, the Mackel brothers and the Berlucci brothers, who developed Tierra Verde, went down to Miami when they were running out of money, and they borrowed money from a gentleman by the name of Meyer Lansky, who was in the mafia. And Meyer Lansky had a bunch of cash he had just taken out of Havana because a gentleman by the name of Fidel Castro had just taken over. Well, Castro was mad, wanted the money. Meyer Lansky gave him the money, but there was other people in the mafia that didn't want it. They were flying back to St. Petersburg from Miami and disappeared in their private plane. They disappeared. 17 years later, they found the remains of the plane at the bottom of Lake Okeechobee. No explanation for why it crashed. Spooky, huh? This book talks about aliens. It talks about ghosts, paranormal activities, all stuff we laugh and snicker at. But let me tell you, it's a spooky place. Thank you.